Wait.
Yes, Jay.
Whoa,
Yes.
whoa, whoa,
Yes.
whoa, what's happening?
Oh my God.
In their culture, they tend to marry quite young and have many different wives. So already while being here, I've gotten some marriage proposals.
She wants to marry her.
Yeah.
And he said he can pay more than 100,000.
To watch and be part of this kind of ancient ritual that they do is just almost overwhelming. To know that we'll never ever see anything like this again, I don't think. It's sad. Welcome back. If you're new here, we are a sailing family who have recently arrived in East Africa after crossing the Indian Ocean in our floating home. When we started this passage in Thailand, we had two of our sons on board, Declan and Ivan, and our stray cat, Mocha. That is one spoiled cat. We said goodbye to Declan in the Seychelles, but replaced him with a young Canadian stowaway.
Fun, fun, fun!
I was laughing at Ivan and Hannah taking your jacket and
Oh, yeah!
laughing now.
Hannah joined us for the Seychelles to Tanzania passage.
We're doomed!
And after safely dropping anchor in Tanga Harbour, saying goodbye to Mocha and securing the boat, today we find ourselves heading inland across most of northern Tanzania to the remote Lake Eyasi basin.
We're here in a Datoga village. This is such an honour to be invited in. It's culturally kind of overwhelming. It's just incredible.
As we travel cross-country, we have been admiring the Tanzanian women in their colourful dresses and the men in their shukas. So we stopped at a little roadside shop to get kitted out to better assimilate with the Datoga village.
That's nice.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, that's very nice.
Wait.
Yes, Jay.
Whoa,
Yes.
whoa, whoa,
Yes.
whoa, what's happening?
Oh my God.
We really had no idea what a culture shock we were letting ourselves in for. Outside of Tanzania, very few people know much about the Datoga, a cattle-herding, semi-nomadic tribe who eke out an existence in a dry and barren land, and who practice ancient customs that immortalise their highly respected dead. It is the closing days of this sacred ceremony that we are lucky enough to participate in. It is called Bung'eda, reserved for only chiefs and influential members of the community.
Hi, I'm Josh. I've been living in Tanzania for close to 5 years now, and for 4 of that I've been coming here to Lake Eyasi with my friend Sayinga, whose family live here. So I've been watching the Cruising Kiwis videos for quite a while now, and I know that they like to visit interesting places and see stuff that's not quite on the beaten trail. When I heard that they were coming here, I knew that they would like to see something like this. It would be something a little different that most tourists don't get to see. So yeah, I arranged with Sayinga for Rob and Rachel and Ivan to come out and visit Lake Eyasi.
We're friends of Josh, he's a patron, and he is friends of one of the Datoga people, and they said, come on in, you can photograph anything. We're just watching the celebrations. It's the end of a funeral. The man died a year ago, and this is now a month-long celebration of his life. We're here in the last few days to see what goes on, and there's so much going on.
What is this? What is in this?
It's a local beer.
Local beer.
The same, but yeah.
Wait, can you do that? Wait.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good.
how is it?
It's good. Yeah, no,
That's
nice,
good?
Very nice. Yum. It's good.
That's good.
That's good. Thank you. No. Okay.
Oh wow, okay.
Full brew.
Well, just drink it all down.
No more. No. That's yours. Thank you. Asante. The local beer is called Gasoda, a popular traditional homebrew that is a mixture of fermented aloe vera and honey. Bung'eda is a long process that takes about a year and goes through prayer, rituals, lots of dancing, and marked by the preparation and drinking of Gasoda.
Oh, she's good. Oh, look at you.
I am like hyper-stimulated at the moment because it's just so beautiful. The housing, the people, the welcome we've received. Honestly, everybody has come and shaken our hand and welcomed us to the village, and it's just really beautiful. There you go. That's an example of it. Isn't it beautiful? We are so outsiders here, and yet we're felt to feel so welcome. It's incredible. I am amazed, and I'm pinching myself that I'm actually here. This is like David Attenborough type stuff.
It is, it is.
And it's absolutely freezing cold. There's quite a bit of wind blowing through here this morning.
My name is Sainga Musungu. I'm originally coming from one of the tribe called Datoga that are residing along the Lake Eyasi shore. So this tribe are one of the small indigenous traditional living tribes that are still struggling to keep their traditional way of life. The tribe's people practice polygamy. I mean, one man can have at least several wives at the same time, and this is totally okay and allowed by the tribe. So my dad had like really big family, 9 wives and over, more than 50 children. So I grew up in a very big and extended family. We practice a lot of traditional customs and norms, and one of them is how we process the grief, So when someone died in the tribe, of course, as a family, we get sad in the beginning. The whole tribe will just come and, cry together with the family, give each other a hug. And then what next is we celebrate the life of that person, especially the great people in the tribe. So actually this Bung'eda is like community ceremony. Of course, as a family, we play a big part of it because, we have to pay for it, like the food and everything. But then the tribe has to really approve that the celebration. So of course for my dad, he deserved everything. He was a really good man. He was a great person in the community. Everyone loves him. He was very influential. Of course, like really powerful in terms of, he had a lot of cows and everything. So as a family, we were happy to celebrate him. That's why we did a Bung'eda for him.
A unique, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity being here and just witnessing how happy and just how together and just familiar all the people live with each other. It's very, very neat, their customs and their culture. In their culture, they tend to marry quite young and have many different wives. So already while being here, I've gotten some marriage proposals.
She wants to marry her.
Yeah.
And he said he can pay more than 100,000. It's like my uncle. Like,
Oh, it's your uncle?
Yeah. It's like brother from my mother. Like,
So she would be your auntie.
yeah. I would like to have her as my auntie.
Yeah, I've gotten a few of those little marriage proposals here and there from just older guys too. None of the younger guys.
So it's a funny story how I actually started watching the Cruising Kiwis, because I was in contact with Rob a long time ago, before the Cruising Kiwis YouTube or Patreon existed. I actually met Rob close to a decade ago, a little over a decade ago, back in New Zealand where I'm from. I just watched his documentary, Brother Number One, about his brother, and not long after that documentary I was involved in a conference for a non-profit in New Zealand and Rob was one of the keynote speakers at that conference. So I got chatting to him about Cambodia, and I'd already been thinking about going somewhere overseas, going to somewhere a little different to New Zealand. A friend of mine was over there building schools at the time. So it just seemed, after watching Rob's documentary and talking to my friend about this, that it was the right place to go at that point in my life. So I got on a plane and went to Cambodia to meet up with a bunch of Australians who I'd never met before. Probably the most terrifying thing I'd ever done in my life to that point. Got off the plane in Cambodia and just fell in love with the country straight away. So if it wasn't for, funnily enough, if it wasn't for meeting Rob, I probably wouldn't have actually ended up here, because it was through my work in Cambodia that I ended up doing this work, which led to me moving to Tanzania. So even though I've brought Rob and Rachel here today, in some ways Rob actually brought me here several years ago.
Hello. Hello. Oh, hello.
So we've just had a break from the village and we've come to have a look at some flamingos on the nearby lake. But I've only got the GoPro and it's not really picking them up, so Ivan's gone a bit closer in. It's really muddy underfoot because this is the lake floor. The water has receded and it's super muddy. Looks like the flamingos have noticed Ivan and they're moving away as quickly as they can. Ivan, what's the situation here?
It's slimy and squishy.
So, unfortunately, the situation now, we were going cross country, trying to leave the river, trying to find the track we came in on, which seems to have disappeared, and now we're bogged down in the mud. I drove us into this mess because I didn't realise this was a boggy bit. And now they're going, well, I was just going, look at all the trash, and then we were and we were stuck in the mud. So they're now picking up the trash, the rubbish, and putting it under the wheels, and yeah, we're like lopsided, we're stuck in the mud, and it's my fault.
That's pretty good. That's in there, Mum.
I'm gonna do it. Really well.
You'd be proud of that. That's pretty good, actually.
Hey, how are you? You're not going to guess what we just did. We might need a tractor. We went down to the lake and we hit a spot that was soft. It's like last year all over again.
Well, we match our shoes.
Do you know anyone with a tractor? Yeah, we're just out on the lake. Asante-san.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, Asante. So.
What did he
Yeah,
say?
he knows someone with a tractor. He's going to call them.
Will they find us?
Oh yeah, we're the only foreigners stuck in a truck on the lake.
While we waited for the tractor, a passing safari van stopped by to offer a hand.
Oh!
So much for slow and steady.
The first attempt didn't go well. After that, they called in reinforcements with a chain, and we were out of the mud in no time, for which we were very grateful. And more demerit points were added to my road trip score.
So it's day 3 here, the last day of the ceremony. They've got the maximum crowd here. The people from other villages have come to join us. And I got dragged in. Actually, on day 1, I had to go to the dancing and the jumping. And on both occasions, got dragged back in again today to rekindle the flame, see the sparks fly. They were keen to see it in action. Strangely, no one believed me that I used to be an international volleyball player. They did not believe me. And it's not surprising because the elevation was not happening today. I didn't get anywhere near space Ivan asked me what's space like up there. What's it like? Is it cold? No, I don't know. But it's pretty special, pretty cool thing to be involved in, part of, and embrace them actually as well. They're all very, very generous.
Very interesting place. No one speaks any English here, so it's a bit kind of hard to fully, you know, connect, I guess, with the people. But hand gestures and, you know, smiling and nodding seem to do a little bit of the job. So yeah. I had a dance. I did the dance. For the past few days, I've been kind of psyching myself up to it. Me and there's another photographer here. His name is Ryan. I said to him, "Are you gonna go up and dance?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Well," and I said, "I'll go if you go." And he said, "Okay then." And so we put our cameras away and then we went out there and they handed me a staff. And then they kind of, well, I got there and I did a little jump, and then it stopped for about 5 minutes, and then we moved along, and then we started again. And yeah, it's hard. They make it look a lot easier than it is, you know. And they're jumping so much higher than me. I mean, I was pathetic compared to them. Yeah, but yeah, it was good though. Hard. They're very strong. Yeah.
Warriors.
Yeah.
They brought a bull from another village across to be slaughtered, and that was a process that was mind-boggling. It was, in some ways, it was disturbing to watch, but it was full of ceremony as part of the ceremony of this whole festival. And you know, a bull had to be killed to feed everyone here. So yeah, there's a unique way of dispatching it though.
Once a Bung'eda has been agreed upon, the body must be prepared in the correct manner. Then the elder, wrapped in a fresh bullskin, is lowered into his grave to be entombed sitting up, facing east and the sunrise. Over the following months, a mud and stick pyramid is constructed over the grave to signify that an important person is buried here. It's hard to put into words what's been happening here over the last 3 days. This is not a tourist event for us to be allowed to come every day. We don't sleep here. We've been sleeping in a guest house in the village, just literally about 1 kilometre away. There's a lot of dancing. We've been encouraged to join in with that. So yeah, we've just been asked to join with the mama's dance. Oh, really? Even though she's not a mama, but she can join as well. We don't need her in the girls' dance. She's already taken. To know that we'll never ever see anything like this again, I don't think. It's sad. So they're just about to do a ceremony where the father had 9 wives and each of the firstborn climbs over his grave. It signifies almost the end of the celebration.
So the final and the last day of Bung'eda is to summit. So the firstborns, they will have to summit on top of the Bung'eda, starting from the eldest to the youngest. By the eldest, I mean like the first wife, her firstborn, the second wife, her firstborn, this is like the second one, the third one until the last one. When they get to the top, they will wait a moment and then they will do a prayer. So he's doing like his last prayer, praying for his dad and also praying for himself and his family, and pray to God that he gets that old, and you know, because we believe that the dead people are going to be like our ancestors, that they're not around us physically but spiritually they're still around, and you know, you can talk to spirit, and you know, and they can still watch us, you know. So we believe they are going to be like a guardian angel somewhere looking after us. So when he's on top, he's gonna say the prayer, and the people around, which is like everyone, they will, you know, say like amen. They will be like, yeah, amen to that, amen to that. And then he will just go to the other side. So it's gonna be the same thing for all the children. And then they will have to go straight to the special house which they were coming from before they're coming to summit here. So the purpose of putting all this tree is to mark the grave to make sure that this tree grows and it stays there forever as his house, or just the mark of where he was buried and stuff. In case maybe, in case we moved away and like everyone is moving and no one knows what happened over there, so we always know this is like, if we're coming back and try to look for where his grave is, then we know, because these trees, they will always grow back. We finish mourning and now we just celebrate, and this is the final, and we are happy. They go back to the house. They will have to take the black cloth, which is like traditional beautiful thing, and they'll have the black one, and they have all the jewelries, and they will everyone will just be happy, celebrate, drink, eat, and that's it.